Welcome to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. I am Josh May.
I am Katie Arnold.
I am Leah Hills.
And I'm Ross Bacon.
And we are four of the May Group Realtors with Remax of Grand Rapids coming to you today. Another edition of Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. Let's get deep today. We are in the holidays, the holiday season. Maybe even pull out some emotions, Ross. Let's look into your past, right? We're going to talk our favorite holiday traditions, memories, gifts, anything that excites you around the holidays that you want to share. I've got some great stuff to talk about, but who wants to kick it off today?
Well, I want to throw out just the first question. What are like some of your favorite traditions or memories that you've had? This could be things that you do now with your families. It could be things that you did as kids, any of them.
Gosh.
What are your favorite traditions or memories?
Yeah, I don't even know where to start, but I got a couple real good ones. That's couple new traditions, couple old. I'm gonna just try and narrow it down to one or two here, though, and hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm just taking over here because holidays. I got my scarf on. I'm looking at a winter wonderland outside. I'm ready to go. So let me share with the viewers one of my favorite things to do as a family, and a lot of my friends group right now. We've been doing this for a long time. So New Year's Day actually is a big day in our household. And the reason is, one, it's my wife's birthday. She's a New Year's Day baby. And for the past 20 years, we've been having great New Year's Days, so many memories. But now that we've got kids, we've turned our New Year's Day into a friends party, a day of gathering. Instead of going out for New Year's Eve like we all used to do, at least me, maybe, Leah and Ross and Katie, you guys are still rocking New Year's Eve. We have turned it into a New Year's Day party. We get some sleep on New Year's Eve. We invite some friends over. We've got some great food. We cater it in. We've got some incredible bowl games to watch. We celebrate my wife's birthday. And, pre-COVID, obviously it was hopping. It's been a little bit tricky the past year, but, we'll have upwards of 20, 30 kids there. We'll have 10, 20 adults, and just turns into a great time. Great way to celebrate the new year. And I enjoy celebrating on New Year's Day more than I ever did on New Year's Eve. So great tradition that
I have participated in that tradition with you. And it is very fun to look forward to.
Yeah.
It's a lot better, than the old days, the college days, going out and going to a bar or something. You just go out to midnight. I've always looked forward to Mary May's birthday and celebration.
What about you guys?
Well, I will go. When we were younger, we would all the cousins, I have a lot of cousins. We would go to my grandma's house and we would get all dressed up for the snow, and we would find the biggest hill in good old Fremont, Michigan. That's where I grew up. And we would do the sledding thing. We would do little hikes, but sledding was the big one. Then we'd all go back to her house and make homemade donuts.
All right.
Oh,
I know. We would go back and we would all make homemade donuts. We haven't done it in a while, but I feel like now that we have littler cousins now, because my cousins are having kids, maybe that tradition will come back. So I kind of like that idea.
You need to bring it back, Leah.
Ross Bacon. I don't have any kids, so it would have to be other.
You have cousins with kids.
Yeah.
I do.
You gotta be the cool aunt here.
yeah. Cool Aunt Leah. Bring back the homemade donuts.
Okay. Maybe that's what I have to do.
I got to feed off of that one too, because mine also involves baking and delicious food. My family has, ever since I can remember, we have had these cookies called sand tarts. I believe I shared them with you guys before. You don't remember them, I'm sure, but you will this year. And those have always been made. And there's literally an endless supply of these cookies. There's probably about 300 to 400 of these cookies that were made each year. Super thin and absolutely addicting. It's impossible to just eat one. So I have carried on that tradition. And now I do that with my wife. I'm going to do it with my kids this year. So that is one of my favorite traditions. So we'd always make the cookies and then watch Christmas Vacation.
Very nice. Well, and Ross, my big one too is actually making Christmas cookies. When I was little, my mom would take my sister and I over to my grandma's house, and we would have like a cookie baking day extravaganza. I think we probably made like 8 to 10 different kinds of cookies. I mean, it was hot in that kitchen. We were just running around, and it was just some of my favorite memories. Sometimes my great aunt, my grandma's sister, would join, and they always fought over what kind of cookies to make. And it just like always kind of made me laugh and giggle. But it's like one of my favorite memories is that we just would bake cookies all day. So
Seems
we
like
still do
everybody
it.
overdoes it. You know, you always bake just way more than you actually
Yeah.
need.
But then
And
you can
that's what's
bring
fun.
them, you bring them to every event. I mean, we had to have many different kinds of Christmas cookies out at Christmas Eve, which my grandma hosted. So, there was never a shortage of Christmas cookies.
Was there any gingerbread men decorating? We did that. That was always fun. You always have all the colors out, the frostings, and you had to decorate your gingerbread men.
We didn't do gingerbread men. There was one year that we did decorate gingerbread houses. And really my only memory or like recollection of that memory was the fact that I got very sick later.
Did you eat too much
Like
sugar?
Katie ate a little too much sugar.
Probably.
A lot of baking going around here. A lot of baking. Now, let me ask you guys a question. In your entire life, and this is a tough one, in your entire life, has there ever been a gift that you've either given or received that you just still think about today? Like just something super cool.
Nothing absolutely specific. The one thing that always got me was my dad loved stocking stuffers, and his favorite place to go, our stockings were probably 3-4 feet long. And he liked it so much that he would fill our stockings up, and then there would be a supplemental box next to it with more. And his favorite place to do stocking stuffers was Walgreens. He would individually wrap everything, talking from Q-tips to travel toothpaste, travel toothbrushes, deodorant. And he'd get deodorant. I'm like 10 years old, and I'd be getting sticks of deodorant. And I'm like, I don't use deodorant right now. And the funny part about it is that it would sit in my closet in my room for years. Like 3 or 4 years ago by, I'm like, oh, I remember getting that stick of deodorant. That's still there, dried up. So that my dad loved Walgreens for stocking stuffers.
Oh, that's great. Well, mine is actually very clear memory. So when I was little, my grandma used to she was big into sewing projects. And so we always had like sweatshirts that she had sewn different things onto for the different holidays. So we had Halloween ones, we had Thanksgiving ones, we had Christmas ones, Valentine's Day ones, didn't matter the holiday. We probably had a sweater to like match. And there were these Santa sweatshirts that my grandma made when my sister and I were both probably 7, 8, something like that. They've been in a box somewhere for the last however many years. My grandma we're going to get a little sentimental here. My grandma had very bad Alzheimer's and dementia. And so we knew when it was likely to be her final Christmas. The whole family gathered, and my mother had taken these sweatshirts and turned them into little like Christmas throw pillows for my sister and I. And it was a gift that she had made, but had put that it was like from grandma. And so we opened it up, and we have this like lasting memory of my grandmother that is like my favorite and like first holiday or like Christmas decor that goes out. There wasn't a dry eye in the house. So if y'all are holding back tears right now, like let them out, let them out. This is a safe place. But that is like hands down a gift that I will cherish forever.
Oh, I love it.
Very cool. I like this episode. This is a great episode because it really comes out that everybody has a Christmas tradition.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, there's so
Yes.
many traditions. I actually want to take this a little bit of a different direction, a little different spin here. So back in the day, one of my other memories was driving from Boyne City, where we grew up, to Grosse Pointe, where my grandparents lived. God rest their souls. A funny memory would be, as a child, every single year the same thing would happen, and it's the strangest thing. My grandma, again, just the sweetest old lady. We would get down there, and just picture like a grandparent's house, right? It looks the same as it's looked for 40 years. Same
Smells the
furnace,
same.
smells the same. You walk in, got the same table settings at the table, just all ready. And after a long trip, she would lay down this big old 7-layer salad and make us kids eat it. And it was just not ever what I wanted to do. Like just lettuce, peas, like a bunch of mayonnaise, like just layers and layers of salad. And that would be the first thing that we would do after like a 5-hour trip from Boyne City to Grosse Pointe. So that was one of those.
I don't particularly like that tradition. I think I
just
don't like that.
It just sticks in my mind. Hopefully my dad doesn't listen to this episode because he might be a little upset. But yeah,
Or bring it back.
Yeah.
Anyway, Leah, any gifts?
Oh my God. Well, gift wise, I might bring it back to a Katie situation. Little sentimental. My dad was a wood crafter. Like he loved just super crafty with all kinds of stuff like that. So he actually built me some shelves that go on the wall. This was years and years and years ago. I specifically asked for them, and then he made them for me. And then unexpectedly, he did pass away a couple months later. So those shelves I will keep forever and ever and ever. Even if they don't match my decor or anything like that, I will keep them forever. So yes, they're always special to me. But
as a realtor, I come across stuff like that all the time where someone takes that one item from a house. You're like, really? You're going to take that? And then there's a story behind it.
There's a story behind it.
Makes sense. You take those shelves everywhere you go.
I do. I know. People always ask. I was like, don't even. It's okay. Just do not break them. But that is my gift that I will keep forever. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So what about like holiday drinks? Could be a cocktail. Could be
well.
maybe just hot chocolate. Like let's wrap it up with holiday.
You know what? I like
beverages.
eggnog. I'll say it right now.
Oh,
God.
Ross.
I like eggnog.
You would.
Is that spiked? 'Cause
No, I
growing
actually
up,
don't
we
like
did-
it. I don't like it spiked. I don't like it spiked at all.
I like eggnog. I'm like with you.
Thank you,
I've
Katie.
never had it spiked, but I did.
I haven't had it
Always
in
liked
years,
eggnog.
so I might not like it now, but I do remember growing up enjoying eggnog quite a bit.
For me, a nice ice cold Miller Lite, I'm joking. Joking. I really don't drink. I don't drink beer, but the classic rum and like cider, hot cider, warmed up in a pot or a crock pot with some rum in there and some spiced cinnamon sticks is perfect for the holidays, whether it's even Thanksgiving, which we just had, and Christmas, and just a nice warm drink. And then those drinks are also nice when you're out on the ski slopes. We do a lot of skiing over the holidays. So like filling up a nice thermos of warm cider is a great way to go for the holidays.
See, in my family, we are Swedish and we do glögg every year on Christmas Eve, which I highly recommend. And it's just like mulled red wine with cinnamon and dried fruit and nuts that like soak in all the alcohol. There's, I think, often like additional alcohol added to the red wine. I don't think my family does that anymore. We usually buy a premix of mulled wine, but it's so good. And it very much like growing up, you became an adult in our family when you finally got to have glögg on Christmas Eve. So
wow. What was that, when you were 11 or 12?
No, it was definitely when you turned 21. There was
okay, just checking.
No cheating. Okay.
No
just
cheating.
making sure. Leah, I'm sorry. I mean, we've been talking about so many drinks. Did you mention your drink?
I didn't, but mine is pretty simple. Champagne.
All
Just
right.
Simple
Yeah.
champagne. Yes. My parents always brought out was it the Asti champagne that I don't know, it's something like that. And so I always bring a bottle of that to Christmas. So
Some
it's
Asti.
another tradition /
Another
drink.
tradition. Right.
So yes.
I love it.
Simple champagne.
You catch me on New Year's morning, I will have one of the best mimosa bars and Bloody Mary bars in town, believe it or not.
His wife's name is Mary.
Gonna say we need an invite to Mary's birthday.
I know. So let's get through this pandemic here. We'll keep the party rolling, but I think we gave everybody some things to think about. Maybe some people dug a little bit deep into their past. This was a fun episode to chat with you guys about. And everybody go out and enjoy these holidays that we're in. And we'll let you guys get back to living in Grand Rapids. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to Living in Grand Rapids, the podcast. Please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast and share with your friends. You can find us on Instagram at MayGroupGR or online at marketgrandrapids.com.